Here are the stories that we're tracking for you today. In Texas, one of the nation's strictest abortion laws just took effect after the Supreme Court decided not to act on an emergency petition filed by clinics in the state to stop it. The law bans abortions after 6 weeks, which is well before many women even know they're pregnant, and with no exception for pregnancies as the result of rape or incest. It's so strict that it deputizes private citizens to sue abortion providers and anyone involved in facilitating abortions.
It even means you could sue an Uber driver who drives someone to an abortion clinic. These are laws stricter than what we have in place for someone who would drive someone who's about to commit an act of terrorism.
The nation's highest court is set to rule on another abortions case next month, which could have implications for the entire country and, of course, the 1973 Roe v. Wade Supreme Court decision. The more contagious Delta variant has pushed Florida into a COVID crisis. Children are getting seriously sick, hospitals are over capacity, and portable morgues are being brought in to handle an overflow of deaths. But as infections ballooned in August, the Florida Department of Health changed the way it reported death data to the CDC, giving the appearance of a pandemic in decline, according to a stunning new report in the Miami Herald. On Monday, Florida death data would have shown an average of 262 daily deaths reported to the CDC over the previous week. Instead, the Monday update from Florida showed just 46 new deaths per day over the previous 7 days. The Florida Health Department has made several unannounced changes to its data methodology over the span of the pandemic, making it difficult to track the state's progress. Experts say the latest change creates a, quote, artificial drop in recent deaths without any explanation or context. Up on Capitol Hill, Kevin McCarthy is shaking in his boots. The House Minority Leader has issued a direct threat to telecommunications companies after the committee investigating the January 6th insurrection asked them to retain phone records that could be relevant to the probe. Republican lawmakers, including McCarthy himself, have admitted to speaking with former President Trump on January 6th, and others have been accused of communicating with people involved in the attack. McCarthy telling the companies that if they comply, a future Republican majority will, quote, not forget. He's also claiming it violates federal law.
That's just flat wrong. But McCarthy, look, he's scared. And I think his boss is scared. They didn't want this commission and this select committee to go forward. They certainly didn't want it to go forward as it is on a bipartisan basis. And they don't want the country to know exactly what they were involved in.
Before the Tokyo Olympics, Simone Biles said she wanted to continue competing in order to keep the spotlight on some very major unfinished business in the world of gymnastics: the sex abuse scandal perpetrated by former USA team doctor Larry Nassar.
I feel like if there weren't a remaining survivor in the sport, they would have just brushed it to the side. But since I'm still here and I have quite a social media presence and platform, they have to do something.
In a late court filing on Tuesday, USA Gymnastics has proposed a payment of $425 million to settle claims by Nassar's victims, though it's not clear where the money would come from. The offer comes almost 5 years after the first public allegations that Nassar had sexually assaulted young gymnasts under the guise of medical treatment, and 3.5 years after USA Gymnastics filed for bankruptcy, facing hundreds of lawsuits.